Okay, Cancer. So for your spread, I keep hearing Cancer, what will you choose? Okay, so this, where I feel that we're going here keeps coming up. So it's a collective energy as well. But when I put out the Lover's card, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I'm like, oh, look at all the colors, like the bright colors, right? And then I'm like, well, they're in reverse, so some people would think that's negative. But Spirit was kind of like, well, these are really good cards, Shauna. Are people going to focus on the fact that they're reversed? Or are they going to focus on the fact that they actually got these good cards? Okay? Or are we going to focus on the bright colors that, to me, yellow represents the sun, happiness, new beginnings, right? What are we going to decide? We have the Two of Wands. To me, he's trying to make a decision here. And the same thing with the Two of Swords. Okay? What are you going to choose? What are you going to choose, Cancer? So, okay. A lot of the readings this week especially have been talking about choosing to see a new perspective, choosing to see the brighter side of life. Life is all about choices, and how we move forward in life depends on the choices that we make, okay? So whether we choose to spend time with our family, or we choose to spend most of our time and attention at work, right? Those are choices that we make, okay? Sometimes we feel that we don't have much say in the matter if you have to pay, bills to be able to feed your family and everything like that. But this is about making choices that lead towards your goals. Choices that fit best for you and not for others, okay? Choosing peace, choosing connection, choosing to build friendships, choosing to work on yourself, okay? So every day we have choices, okay? Today I decided, before the day even started, I'm going to eat healthier today because I've been eating a lot of treats. And my boyfriend and I are going to go on a trip for a couple of days, and I want to look semi-decent in my bathing suit. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to be good. I know we're going to be bad when we go on the trip. But didn't my dad come home with some delicious chocolate-covered raisins? And I had a choice to make. Am I going to allow myself to eat them, or am I going to say, no, I don't want them? And what I chose was I allowed myself to have a few of them, but that was it, okay? And I'm happy with that. Now, my guides are saying I also had a choice of whether I beat myself up about eating those chocolate-covered raisins or not, right? We have millions of choices that we make every day. Millions of decisions, okay? It can be really exhausting. And this is why we don't try to work on every aspect of ourselves all at once, because it's going to take us baby steps. We're going to have to build up changing our thought processes, speaking nicely to ourselves, okay? So, what are you going to choose, Cancer? Are you going to choose to nourish your body, your spirit, your soul? Are you going to choose to let negativity ruin your life or run your life? What are you going to choose? See, with a High Priestess here, I feel like this is about creation, you focusing your energy to create what it is that you desire. I can't tell you how many times these messages have come through, so they must be very, very important right now, especially for me to continually be saying this. Now, I have thought about just doing a collective message because a lot of the times I feel that there's a continued theme throughout the messages, but my choice was to create the 12 zodiac signs just in case things are different, okay? But again, choices, okay? Choices. So, make a vision board You don't necessarily have to make one. But what I'm getting here is choosing to focus on what it is that we want, right? Choosing to focus on what it is that we want. Now, in my example, do I want to feel good in my bathing suit? Yes, I do. But I also want to be able to eat things and not beat myself up over eating a handful of chocolate-covered raisins, okay? So, what I'm getting here is let's focus on the feelings. Let's focus on our desires. Focus on staying true to ourselves, loving ourselves, and following our dreams. Choosing to see the brighter side of life. Choosing to see ourselves in a new light, in a brighter light. Choosing to treat ourselves potentially how we treat others. You know, we're so much harder on ourselves than we are on other people. It's time that you deserve the same courtesy, is what I'm hearing. So choosing to see yourself as love, as light, as a being who deserves empathy and compassion. Choosing to see yourself as someone who deserves all the things that they desire. Our lives take time to be shaped, is what I'm hearing. And these decisions, the things that we choose, are what shape us and shape our lives. They're the agreements that we make. If you've read the 4 agreements, my boyfriend likes to remind me about that. When I tell him things about how I feel about myself, he said, that's an agreement that you made. But we can make the choice to change that, to change our story, to start spending more time with our family, right? Because if you, in this example, if you are working way too much and you want to spend more time with your family, that's your soul speaking, honey. And you can ask your angels and guides, because if you have no idea how the heck that can happen, where you can spend more time with your family, ask your angels and guides and they will guide you towards that. That is a choice. Okay? If you feel like you don't have a choice, you do. Your angels and guides will help guide you towards that. If you want to focus on being at peace instead of focusing on gossip and the chaos that goes on in this world and the chaos that sometimes goes on in our mind, that is your choice. But that's how we start bringing more peace into our lives. My guides say Jenna always wanted to learn how to do tarot. Her buying a deck and taking a course, that was a choice. That was my choice. Okay? So sometimes the smallest things that we do, the choices that we make, can lead to bigger changes. And that's what they're talking about with loving ourselves, speaking to ourselves in a kinder manner. Okay? Asking our angels and guides for help, praying. I can't tell you how many times praying changed my life. Deciding that we want peace instead of chaos. Okay? Deciding that it's time for us to receive. It's time for us to start embarking on new beginnings, new journeys, trying new hobbies. So what choice are you going to make, Cancer? Knight of Cups. He's focusing on love and the bubbles, the heart bubbles that are coming out of this cup. He's not focusing on the shark. He's focusing on what brings him joy. Death card was underneath that. When we focus on that, that's when things change. That's when things change. That mindset shift. And it's easy to talk about, but it's not as easy to do. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Because there's so many different aspects of it. So many different layers of it. But you begin with you. How you speak to yourself, how you speak about yourself, how you speak about what it is that you want to accomplish. Well, I could never do that. Stop right there. This one I need to stop doing. I'm fat. I'm getting fat. I shouldn't eat that or I'll get fat. Stop that. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not worthy. Stop that. And all of these choices to stop the negativity and to embrace the positivity, to take the inspired action, the positive action, that will shape your life in ways that you could never imagine. Okay? I always thought that I hated myself. I never felt good enough. Never felt good enough for somebody else. And then I worked on my healing journey, working through my trauma. I started dating some people, and I realized, you know what? And even with my boyfriend now, I'm like, at the beginning of our relationship, I went back to old Jenna, where I felt I wasn't good enough for him, right? I always focused on whether I could impress them and make them want me, but I never stopped to consider, do I want them? That was never a question. Do I want them? Right? And now I'm at a point in my life where I can ask that and I can be happy with the decisions that I have made. And it seems so simple, but these things, it's taken me a lot of steps, a lot of choices to come to that conclusion and to see myself in a different light and to have self-worth and self-awareness. I never thought that I could have the dreams that I want to have. And I'm already moving towards them, and I never thought that I could. But I made the decision to never give up. You love yourself, Cancer, whether some of you know it or not. But there's a deep love within you for yourself. So please stop talking negatively about yourselves. Please start looking at the positives that you have in your life. And start building a life of love for yourself and for others, and a life that you love. That big thing that you want, you get to it with all those small decisions, those small choices that you make along the way. So don't say your dream will never happen. Say it hasn't happened yet. And eventually you'll start speaking to yourself and speaking about your dreams in a different light. That will give you hope. And it will give you clarity too, because you're starting to see things more clearly. So start appreciating yourself. And that's a message for some of you. And start believing that you deserve better. Okay? All right, Cancer, thank you so much for watching. Sorry, that was an emotional one for me because I think that's a message for me as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I see you in the next one.